Everyone, Mr. Terrar here with your e-learning assignment for May the 6th. Today we will be concluding our discussion on insurance, and you have a worksheet on Canvas that you need to complete in order to receive your e-learning grade for today. So let's get started. When we last met, we were discussing the various types of insurance that exist. So we will continue by talking about the various types of insurance that are out there, and then we will finish up by talking about some other concepts around insurance. So, just to review a little bit, the last type of insurance that we discussed was business interruption insurance. And the purpose of business interruption insurance is to provide protection from losses of business income for a specific period if the business is destroyed and if it will take some time to relocate or rebuild. So let's say that you operate a restaurant and that restaurant is destroyed by a tornado. That's where business interruption insurance would come into play because obviously there will be a period of time that you won't be able to be in operation. You won't be able to be open for business, and that will result in a loss of income. So that's where your business interruption insurance would come into play. The next is professional liability insurance. And professional liability insurance provides protections against claims as a result of providing a service. So um, you hear about malpractice insurance with doctors a lot. Uh, that would fall under this umbrella. Basically, what it is if you provide a service, like a doctor provides medical care. Well, let's say that a doctor provides medical care, and as a result of the advice that he gives, or the result of a surgery or a medicine that's prescribed, a person sustains an injury or a person sustains some sort of physical ailment, technically they could sue that doctor for malpractice. And that's where professional liability insurance would come into play, as they would actually protect that doctor and protect him from a lawsuit. Not just doctors have this. If I'm a carpenter, for example, most carpenters are going to be insured, and they will let you know that if they um, make a mistake or cause damage to your property, they are insured, and that means that their insurance company is going to protect them and pay for any damages that might occur. And then you have product liability insurance. Product liability insurance is essentially the same thing as professional liability insurance. The only difference is that product liability insurance covers a product rather than a service. So this type of insurance provides protections from claims arising from use, handling, or consumption of a product that the business creates or was part of creating. So if you create a product that is, you know, uh, that is discovered to be harmful or to have harmful effects, that's where product liability insurance would come into play. So what do you consider when selecting an insurance company? There's lots of things that an agribusiness needs to consider when they are choosing an insurance company to uh, take out a policy with. So agribusinesses should evaluate their agribusiness to determine what needs to be insured. What are our biggest areas of risk that we need to make sure we have them insured? Is it our facilities? Is it our products that we're selling? Is it um, liability insurance, that type of thing? Once all insurance needs have been identified, proper coverage can be associated with those needs. The first factor that many individuals and businesses base their insurance decision on is price. So obviously, the name of the game in business is to try to keep your overhead costs as low as possible, and insurance is one of those overhead costs. So you want to toe that fine line between making sure that you're adequately protected, but also making sure that you're keeping your insurance costs down to a reasonable level. But what you have to understand is that the best price is not always the best deal. With insurance, you probably don't want to just always select the cheapest option because, yes, the cheapest option might save you money in the short run, but if it comes down to it and you actually need to utilize that insurance, A lot of times that cheapest insurance option is not going to provide the best coverage, and you might actually face paying more money out of pocket than you would have if you would have selected a more expensive policy. Another factor is the service provided by the insurance company. Customer service is something that is very valuable to a customer from their insurance company. Does the insurance company provide proper service to their customers during an accident? For instance, does the insurance company handle all claims in a prompt manner? If you're in a position where you're trying to file a claim with your insurance company, you want action taken very quickly. You want to try to limit the amount of downtime as much as you possibly can. Think about it from a farmer's perspective. If, let's say, my combine is insured and that combine catches on fire and burns down, I don't have months to draw that process out. I need to get an insurance agent out there, a claims adjuster to, you know, appraise the situation, and I need to take action very quickly because farming is a very time sensitive business. And I need to make sure that action is being taken very quickly. Or even from the average person's perspective, if I'm in a car accident and someone hits me and my car gets totaled, I don't really want that process to be drawn out over several weeks. It needs to move quickly because I need my car. Right? I need my car to get back and forth to work. So customer service is really important, and you need to make sure that the insurance company you're selecting provides that high level of customer service. Insurance companies need to be financially stable. So, the last thing you want to do is to pay your premiums on time every month. And when you file a claim, when you need that insurance company to take action and do what you pay them to do, them not have the resources to do that and them not have the money to do that. You don't want that to happen at all. So you need to make sure that the insurance company is financially sound so that they can be there when you need them to be. Let's talk about the process behind filing an insurance claim. So obviously, there's a lot of different types of insurance, and it looks a little bit different depending on whether we're talking about health insurance, liability insurance, vehicle insurance, property insurance. But, you know, there's a lot of similarities, I guess, in the claim filing process between all of them. So all claims should be acted upon immediately. You don't want to dawdle when it comes time to file a claim. You need to take action quickly because that lets the insurance company move quickly. They can't do anything until you file that claim. So you should notify your agent to ensure that all details are corrected and communicated. When the claim occurs, a written record should be made for business or individual records. So you need to record what happened to the best of your knowledge. If you're looking at a vehicle accident, let's say that you're in a minor fender bender accident, the first thing you want to do, and this is assuming that it's an accident where you sustained a decent amount of damage. I know Indiana has a threshold, and maybe it's $1,000 or $1,500. If you estimate the damage to be more than a certain amount, let's say it's $1,000, you need to call the police. And basically, the reason why you need to call the police is because they need to file a police report. The insurance companies of those involved in the accident will require that police report, and they'll use that police report in order to determine who was at fault in the accident. And between the two parties, whoever was at fault, their insurance company is going to pay for the damages. So you'll need to call the police, let them know that there's been a minor accident. They'll probably ask if everyone's okay. If you need, medical assistance, they'll send an officer out. He or she will interview both parties involved in the accident. Um, they will kind of make an assessment of who is at fault, and then you will need to exchange insurance information with the other party, and that way you can start the process of trying to get things settled. So if you don't follow proper procedures, it could adversely affect the payment of benefits, or the insurance company could flat out refuse to pay those benefits because you did not follow the correct procedure. So if you have any questions about the procedure that you need to take when filing a claim, you need to reach out to your insurance agent and get clarifications there. So keep a complete record listing all property in a separate, safe place. This is really helpful when it comes to property insurance. So keeping a list of all the things, not only the facility, but all the things inside of the facility, computers and furniture and other, valuables, keeping a list of those things somewhere safe. If you just keep that list in your desk inside of the building, well, if the building burns down, that list doesn't do you a lot of good. You need to keep it somewhere separate. That way, if the property is destroyed, you still have access to that list. So if you can create that list, that's going to help you get the best payout, because once you do make a claim, you can say, hey, insurance company, here's a list of all of my assets that were destroyed. Those can be assessed at their value, and you're going to get more money out of the insurance company. If you don't have that, all they can do is give you kind of a lump sum, and it's probably not going to be enough money to cover all of that. The more detailed you can be, the better. More than one individual should be familiar with the insurance policies and know their locations. And it's a great idea to keep a safety deposit box to keep all those records. Something that you can lock up. A lot of times they're fireproof, so if the building does burn down, the box will still survive. Um, and that's just a good practice to have. So if structural damage is involved, preventative measures should be taken to make sure no additional damage occurs. So this could include boarding up windows, covering up protected areas, blocking off access to dangerous areas. You could also take pictures of the personal records as well. And if appropriate, law enforcement should be notified. You need to call your insurance agent immediately. And then obviously, if personal injury is involved, you need to seek medical assistance immediately. That takes priority over everything else. Okay, so that concludes our discussion on insurance. You have an assignment on Canvas that you need to complete. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me via email. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks.